Have you ever wondered why you're stuck in the same place, facing the same problems year after year? Why it feels like your drive is gone, your passion is silent, and your goals are always just out of reach? Let me tell you something, it's not because you're lazy, it's not because you're unlucky, it's because you've gotten comfortable. And that comfort, it's killing your ambition. You've stopped demanding more from yourself. You've settled for it's fine, instead of chasing what you really want. You've convinced yourself that average is acceptable, that hitting snooze, putting things off, or saying, I'll do it later, is somehow harmless. But it's not. Every time you choose easy over effort, you're letting your standards drop. And with every drop, your dreams fall further out of reach. Comfort feels safe, it feels warm, but it's a slow poison. You don't notice what it's doing to you until it's already done the damage. It drains your edge, it softens your focus, it makes you forget what you're capable of. You start accepting things you once said you'd never settle for. You start living a life that looks nothing like the one you imagined, all because you chose comfort over challenge. And the worst part? It feels normal. That's the trap. Low standards don't show up like a disaster. They show up like a routine. You wake up late, scroll your phone for hours, avoid hard conversations, skip the gym, and call it a rough day. But the truth is, those little choices add up. They stack. And soon, you're stuck in a life that you didn't build on purpose. You fell into it by accident. Let me ask you something. Are you really okay with just getting by? Are you truly fine with living a version of your life that's watered down, drained, and full of what-ifs? Because if you are, then keep doing what you've been doing. But if something inside you is screaming, this isn't it, then you need to wake up. Right now, stop lying to yourself. You're not tired, you're uninspired, you're not lazy, you're stuck in patterns that keep you small. And the longer you stay in that cycle, the harder it becomes to break out. Comfort gives you short-term peace, but long-term pain. You pay for it with your goals, your energy, your self-respect. You have dreams for a reason. You have fire in you for a reason. But that fire needs fuel. And that fuel is challenge, discipline, raising your standards, refusing to stay average, refusing to say this is good enough when you know you were made for more. Comfort will tell you, you don't need to push today. Comfort will whisper, you can try again tomorrow. But days become weeks, weeks become months, and then one day you wake up and realize you built your life around survival, not success. You deserve better than that. You were built for more than that. But it starts with getting uncomfortable. It starts with saying no to the easy path and yes to the one that stretches you, strengthens you, and brings your fire back. Raise your standards, not just in big moments, but in the little ones. How you wake up, how you speak to yourself, how you handle stress, how you show up when nobody's watching. Those are the moments that shape your future. Because here's the truth, nobody drifts to the top. You don't stumble into greatness. You climb, you fight, you sacrifice, and you stay hungry. If your life feels stuck, it's not because you're out of time, it's because you lowered your standards and called it reality. But today that can change. Today you can draw a line and say, I'm done settling. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Choose to raise the bar on what you accept. Choose to demand more from yourself. Because when you do, something shifts. That fire comes back, that energy returns, and suddenly, what felt impossible becomes your new normal. Don't let comfort kill your drive. Don't let average steal your potential. This is your wake-up call. Comfortable is the enemy, and if you want to live fully, boldly, and with purpose, then you need to break up with comfort for good. Let me tell you something that might sting a little. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you're willing to tolerate. You can dream as big as you want. You can write down goals, say affirmations, and talk about success all day long. But if you keep tolerating weak habits, low standards, and excuses, then that's exactly what your life will reflect. Not your wishes, not your potential, but your lowest line of acceptance. Look around your life right now. Look at your habits, your results, your circle, your energy. That's not just who you are, it's what you've been willing to accept. And the truth is, most people are living far beneath what they're capable of. Not because they're not talented, but because they've made peace with things they should have never allowed. You say you want better health, but you tolerate skipping workouts. You say you want success, but you tolerate distraction. You say you want peace, but you tolerate drama. You say you want respect, but you tolerate disrespect. Do you see the gap? It's not your goals that are the problem, it's your standards. Your life is like a room with a thermostat. That thermostat is your standard. You might want the room hotter, more success, more discipline, more fire. But if the thermostat is set to low, your environment will always pull you back. Your body might act motivated for a few days, but your standard will drag you back to what you're used to. Because that's where you've told your mind it belongs. You can't keep blaming your past, your job, or other people. You need to ask yourself one honest question. What have I been tolerating that's keeping me stuck? That one question could unlock everything, because the moment you raise your standards, everything else has to shift with it. But nothing changes until you raise the line. This isn't about being perfect. It's about refusing to keep accepting what drags you down. The habits that steal your time, the relationships that drain your energy, the thoughts that tell you you're not good enough. At some point you have to say enough. There are people less talented than you, less experienced than you, who are winning. Why? Because they stopped tolerating nonsense. They stopped saying maybe tomorrow and started saying now. They stopped making space for average, they raised the bar, and life rose to meet them. And if you're honest with yourself, you know where you've let things slide. You know where you've gotten soft. You've let your standards bend just a little. You've let little things slide just this once. But that just once became a pattern, and that pattern became your lifestyle. And now you're stuck in a version of your life you never wanted because you tolerated your way into it. It's time to flip the switch. It's time to stop lowering yourself to fit your situation and start raising yourself to change it. This is your call to raise the bar, not just in one area but everywhere. Your time, your mindset, your language, your focus, your effort. Every part of your life needs to be held to a higher standard because the results you want are sitting up there waiting for you. So draw the line today. No more tolerating what doesn't serve you. No more giving your energy to things that waste it. No more pretending that average is okay with you because it's not. Deep down, you know you're built for more. You've just been tolerating less. Raise your standard and everything will change. Talk different, move different, think different. People might not get it, and that's fine. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for the version of you that refuses to live small. The version that's tired of settling. The version that's ready to win. Because once you stop tolerating what's beneath you, you finally rise to what's meant for you. And the truth is, your life won't rise until you do. So raise the line, break the pattern, and start living the way you were always meant to. Let me make this simple. You don't need to fix everything at once. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. You just need to raise one standard, one shift, one choice, one change that you stick to every single day. That's how things start to move. That's how lives change. You're not stuck because your dreams are too big. You're stuck because your daily standards are too low. You say you want more, but you keep doing the same things. You keep showing up with the same effort. You keep making the same decisions. And then you wonder why nothing's different. But here's the truth. It only takes one raised standard to start a ripple. Just like one drop of water can disturb an entire lake, one change in how you carry yourself can flip your whole future. That might sound too simple, but simplicity is what most people ignore. They chase complexity. They wait for perfect plans. They want everything to line up, but success doesn't come from perfect timing. It comes from raising one part of your life and refusing to lower it again. Let's say you stop hitting snooze in the morning. That one shift creates more time, more energy, and more discipline. Suddenly you're not rushing through the day, you're leading it. Or maybe you stop tolerating disrespect, but that one standard changes who you allow in your space, and now your mind is clear. Or you raise your standard in how you speak to yourself. You stop using words like I'm lazy or I'm stuck, and you start saying I'm building, I'm rising. That shift in language starts building new beliefs, and new beliefs lead to new action. See the pattern? One upgraded standard triggers better thoughts, better choices, better results. That's how it works. It builds, it multiplies. But don't confuse small with easy. Raising one standard doesn't mean it'll be simple to stick to. That's why most people don't do it. They want big change without small discipline. But real progress is built on tiny bricks stacked one after the other. And the first brick is your new standard. Think about a thermostat again. When you raise the temperature, the system kicks in to match that setting. Your life is the same. If you raise your standard, your habits, thoughts, and even the people around you will either rise with it or get pushed out. Either way, your environment adjusts. And that's the power you've been ignoring. You've been chasing outcomes instead of adjusting the thermostat. You've been trying to stay motivated instead of raising your floor. But motivation fades, standards stay. When you raise your minimums, your life starts to reflect your worth, not your wishes. So pick one thing, just one. Don't overthink it. What's one area where you've let your standards slide? Is it your time, your health, your relationships, your words, your effort? Pick one and draw the line. Not tomorrow. Now, say to yourself, from today forward, this is my new normal. I don't go below this. I don't negotiate it. I don't explain it and then back it up. Every day, no matter how you feel. That's the key. The change you want doesn't live in a massive to-do list. It lives in one small shift done with big focus. Don't underestimate it. Don't overlook it, because the future you want is waiting on one raised standard, one shift, one decision, one habit. That's where it starts. Let that be your trigger. Let that be your spark. Because if you do it right, that one shift will do more than change your schedule. It will change your mindset. And once your mindset changes, your whole life will follow. Raise one standard, protect it, and watch how everything else starts to rise with it. That's how you start winning, one move at a time. Let's clear something up right now. Upgrading your life doesn't mean burning yourself out. It's not about grinding every second of the day, or waking up at 4 a.m. just to feel productive. It's not about going from zero to perfect overnight. That mindset, that's what keeps people stuck, because they think change has to be extreme. But the truth is, real change happens in small, steady steps, one solid standard at a time. If the idea of raising your standards feels heavy, it's because you're trying to change everything all at once. And that's not how this works. You don't need to fix your whole life this week. You just need to start right where you are, with what you have. That's enough. Let me ask you something. What if you didn't have to do everything, but you only had to do the next right thing? Would that feel lighter? Because that's where you need to begin. One clear step, one daily change, one promise you make to yourself and actually keep. Let's say your current standard for sleep is staying up late, watching shows, and waking up groggy. You don't need to become a morning warrior tomorrow. You just need to stop watching one episode less. Go to bed 30 minutes earlier. That's it. Because one shift in your night sets up your entire morning, and one better morning leads to better focus, better energy, and better choices. Or maybe you want to raise your standard in how you eat. You don't need to throw away your whole kitchen. You just need to cut out that one daily soda. Replace it with water. You do that for 30 days, and your body starts to change. Not because of a huge move, but because of a small one done with purpose. See, building strong standards isn't about how fast you change, it's about how steady you stay. You don't need to go harder, you need to go smarter. Break your change into pieces. Stack those pieces, one on top of the other, and pretty soon you've built something solid, something you can stand on. So stop trying to be perfect. Stop making a list of everything that's wrong. Instead, ask yourself, what's one standard I can raise today that I can actually keep? It could be showing up on time. It could be putting your phone down during meals. It could be reading 10 pages instead of scrolling for hours. These things matter. These small moves stack up. Let me tell you why this approach works. Because it builds trust with yourself. Every time you raise a standard and follow through, you prove to yourself that you can be better, that you can follow your word, and that builds strength. Quiet, steady strength that doesn't burn out. It builds confidence that isn't loud, but real. People burn out because they try to be someone they're not ready to be yet. They build standards based on someone else's highlight reel. But your journey isn't about comparison, it's about direction. You just need to be one step better than yesterday. That's all. And then do it again. Think of it like climbing a staircase. You don't leap to the top. You take one step, then another. The higher you go, the stronger your legs get. And that's strength. That's what carries you forward. Not a quick burst of height, but a foundation of steady raised standards. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one area of your life, just one. Ask yourself, what's the lowest thing I've been accepting here? Then raise it. Not to the top, just higher than it's been. Make that your new floor. Protect it. Live by it. Then once that becomes your normal, raise another one. This is how people change their lives. Not by flipping a switch, but by turning up the dial day by day, step by step. If you follow that, you won't burn out. You'll build up, and you'll become someone who lives by higher standards without feeling crushed by them. Remember this, your standards don't have to be perfect. They just have to be better than the ones you've been settling for. Start where you are, use what you have, and build one strong step at a time. That's how you upgrade without breaking down. That's how you rise without rushing. Look around you. Think about the people in your life, the ones you talk to, text, spend time with. Now ask yourself a hard question. Are they pushing you forward or pulling you back? Are they building you up or draining your energy? Because whether you see it or not, the company you keep is shaping your mindset, your habits, and your future. Let me tell you something most people don't want to admit. Your environment matters more than your motivation. You can have big goals, strong habits, and all the right tools. But if the people around you don't match your mindset, they will drag you back to where they are. That's not an opinion, that's a fact. There are two kinds of people in this world, builders and drainers. Builders light a fire in you. They challenge you to grow. They speak life into your goals. They don't let you settle. But drainers, they distract you. They doubt you. They dismiss your dreams. They love to see you stuck because your progress reminds them of what they're not doing. And the tricky part, drainers don't always look toxic. Sometimes they wear a smile, sometimes they mean well, but their energy is heavy. Their words make you question yourself. Their habits pull you into patterns that slow you down. And before you realize it, your fire starts fading. Your standards start dropping, and you begin to settle. Not because you wanted to, but because you were surrounded by people who never expected more from themselves. So let me ask you, who's in your circle right now that's keeping you average? Who are you constantly explaining your goals to? Who are you shrinking around just to keep the peace? That's not connection, that's a cage. You weren't meant to stay small. You weren't built to blend in. You were made to grow, but growth needs the right ground. And sometimes that means pulling weeds before you can plant anything new. It means letting go of old friends who don't grow with you. It means setting boundaries that protect your peace. It means being honest enough to say, if you're not helping me rise, I can't keep you close. That might sound cold, but protecting your future is not selfish. It's necessary. You don't owe your presence to people who poison your progress. You don't have to apologize for wanting more. And you definitely don't have to explain why you're changing. If they were meant to come with you, they'd be growing too. Let's take it a step further. Who in your life is a vision protector? Who checks in on your goals, not just your weekend plans? Who holds you to your highest standard, even when it's uncomfortable? Those are your people. That's your circle. Keep them close. Because one real friend who calls you out is worth more than 10 who let you slide. Your circle should reflect your future, not your past. So if your goals feel too big for your environment, that's your sign. It's time to upgrade both. Because here's the truth. You rise faster when you're around people who refuse to let you fall. People who speak growth, live with purpose, and expect greatness. Their energy fuels you. Their presence sharpens you. Their belief reminds you of who you are. So do a full audit today. Who's building you? Who's draining you? Who's holding you back with good intentions but low standards? And who do you need to step away from? Not out of hate, but out of respect for your future. Because your environment will either light your fire or burn it out. And if you're serious about leveling up, you need people who fan your flame, not smother it. People who speak power into your life. People who stretch your vision. People who remind you of what you're capable of when you start forgetting. Protect your circle. Protect your mind. Because your future is too important to share with people who aren't moving forward. Remember, your life will rise or fall based on who you allow around you. So choose wisely. Choose growth. Choose builders. And let everything else fall away. You don't need to explain your growth to anyone. Read that again. You don't need to defend your goals. You don't need to make your dreams smaller so other people feel comfortable. You don't need to water down your vision just because someone else doesn't see it. Growth isn't something you ask permission for. It's something you own. When you decide to level up, not everyone is going to understand. Some will question you. Some will mock you. Some will tell you you've changed. And that's the point. You're not meant to stay the same. You're meant to rise. Let me tell you something. People will always have something to say. If you stay the same, they'll call you lazy. If you change, they'll call you fake. So why waste energy explaining yourself? Why keep trying to get approval from people who never had your vision in the first place? You don't need to justify wanting more. You don't need to explain why you're setting new standards. You don't owe anyone a reason for improving your mindset, raising your habits, or saying no to things that used to distract you. You're not selfish. You're focused. And that's the difference between people who grow and people who stay stuck. Some people are addicted to average. They live in circles where settling is the standard. So when you break away, when you raise your standards, when you start expecting more from yourself, they'll feel threatened. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing something they're afraid to do. And here's what you need to know. Their fear is not your responsibility. Their comfort is not your concern. You don't have to bring everyone with you. Some people are only meant to be part of your past. That's not hate, it's truth. Growth changes your direction, and not everyone is going where you're going. Stop shrinking so others can stretch. Stop explaining your rise to people who have chosen to stay on the ground. Growth isn't loud, it doesn't need a speech. It just needs action, quiet, daily action that proves who you are becoming. You want to raise your standards? Good, then raise them. You want to say no to distractions, drama, and dead-end habits? Good, then say no. You want to start waking up earlier, thinking clearer, training harder, speaking better? Do it. You don't need a round of approval. You don't need people to clap for it. What you need is the courage to keep going even when nobody claps at all. Let's get this clear. High standards don't need permission. They need protection. You protect them by living them, by showing up when it's hard, by keeping your promises to yourself, by refusing to explain why you've decided that average isn't enough for you anymore. Think about the people who truly changed their lives. They didn't wait for the world to understand them. They didn't keep sending out explanations for why they were leveling up. They just did it. They moved different. They lived different. And eventually, the world adjusted. You can't rise and keep explaining your rise. It slows you down. It pulls you back. Every time you stop to convince someone why you're changing, you give away energy you could be using to build. Every time you explain your new standard, you invite doubt into what should be solid. You don't need to be rude, you just need to be clear. Clear with yourself, clear with your actions, clear with your choices. Let the way you move speak for you. Let your progress be the message. Let your results be the proof. And if someone asks why you're acting different, here's your answer: because you finally realized you were made for more. That's it. No long story, no soft apology, just truth. So stop explaining your elevation. Just keep rising, keep building, keep growing. Let your actions speak louder than your explanations ever could. Growth doesn't ask for approval, it demands courage, and you already have it. Use it. Let's fast forward 5 years. Same job, same habits, same excuses, same circle, same mornings, same nights. Nothing really changed. You're still talking about what you might do, want to do, plan to do. And now ask yourself this: how does that feel? If the answer is heavy, that's because deep down, you know you're built for more. You weren't meant to stay in the same spot, repeating the same story. But that's what happens when you play small. That's what happens when you let comfort win. You lose time, you lose energy, and worst of all, you lose yourself. Comfort is cheap, but regret is expensive. You don't pay for it in money, you pay for it in moments you'll never get back. You pay for it in opportunities you passed up. You pay for it in the quiet voice in your head that says you could have done more. Let me tell you something: playing small might feel safe, but it's not harmless. It's not neutral. It's costing you every single day. Every time you say not now, you push your future further away. Every time you hold back, you lock yourself in the same story. And eventually time runs out. Not because you're out of potential, but because you never acted on it. Look around. The people who live with peace in their hearts didn't live perfect lives. They just didn't hold back. They messed up, they got knocked down, but they moved. They took risks. They gave their energy to what mattered. And when they look back, they don't wonder what could have been, they know what they became. Now think about the people filled with regret, not because they failed, but because they never tried. They played it safe. They kept things small. They waited for the right moment that never came. And now they're left with a mind full of what ifs and a life full of almosts. Don't let that be you. Don't let the fear of failing keep you from starting. Don't let other people's low standards become your cage. Don't let comfort talk you out of becoming everything you were designed to be. Because the truth is, staying the same isn't just a pause. It's a slow leak. It drains your passion. It lowers your fire. And before long, you don't even recognize yourself anymore. You forget what it felt like to dream big. You stop reaching, you stop risking, and you settle for a life that looks nothing like the one you imagined. But it doesn't have to end that way. You can make a different choice. Today, right now, you can draw the line. You can say no more playing small. You can stop trading potential for comfort. You can start choosing action over fear, growth over doubt, progress over perfection. It's not about changing everything overnight. It's about not wasting another day. It's about waking up with purpose, doing something that scares you, raising your standards, and stepping into the life you keep imagining in your head. Because when you do that, regret disappears. Not because everything goes right, but because you finally went for it. And that's where peace lives. Not in comfort, but in effort. Not in safety, but in growth. So here's the bottom line. Comfort feels good now, but it costs more later. Playing small keeps you liked, but it keeps you limited. And staying the same might protect your pride, but it will break your heart. Choose your price. Regret or growth, fear or freedom, staying safe or stepping up. But whatever you do, don't wait until it's too late. Because the pain of discipline lasts for a moment, but the pain of regret, that one stays with you. Comfort is cheap, but regret is expensive. And your future is worth far more than anything you're afraid to face today. So stop playing small. Start moving bold, and make sure the future you never has to look back and wonder what could have been. There comes a point when enough is enough. A moment when you look at your life and say, this can't be it. Not because it's all bad, but because you know it could be so much better. That moment is now, not tomorrow. Not when things settle down. Not when you feel more ready. Right now. This is where everything changes. If you're bold enough to draw the line, let me tell you something. You don't need another plan. You don't need another talk. You need a line, a clear one. A line that says, this is who I used to be, and this is who I refuse to be any longer. A line that separates the version of you that settled, waited, and hoped from the version that moves, acts, and builds. It doesn't have to be complicated, just real, just clear, just firm. You need 3 non-negotiables, 3 new standards that you set today and never go below again. Not because it's easy, but because you're done living below your potential. So ask yourself, what are 3 things I will never tolerate again? What are 3 things I will start doing no matter what? Maybe it's this: I will no longer waste time on things that drain me. I will move my body every single day. I will speak to myself like someone who matters. That's your line. That's your new floor. That's your shift from hoping to building. Draw it. Declare it. live it. Because when you draw the line, you don't just change your habits, you change your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who's trying and start living like someone who is. Someone who doesn't negotiate with laziness. Someone who doesn't play small to make others comfortable. Someone who owns every inch of their progress. This is how real change happens. Not in loud announcements, but in quiet decisions. The ones you make when no one's watching. The ones you repeat when it gets hard. The ones that slowly become who you are. You've spent enough time thinking about it, enough time dipping your toe in, enough time waiting for the perfect conditions. There are no perfect conditions, there's only right now. And the standard you set in this moment will shape every moment after it. So don't just make a promise, make a line, say it out loud, write it down, burn it into your routine. This is where I start living with purpose. This is where I stop accepting less than I'm capable of. This is the moment my life starts rising. You've heard enough. You prepared enough, you already know what needs to change. Now it's time to move, to act, to step across the line and never look back. And remember, this isn't about being perfect, it's about being clear. When you're clear on your standards, your decisions get easier, your energy gets sharper, your path becomes stronger. So draw the line, not for the world, for you, because you deserve to live like someone who matters. Because the future you want is waiting on the version of you who finally said, "This is it, I'm done settling." 3 new standards, 1 new path, and it all starts right now. Not later, not someday, right now. Draw the line, and never step back.